Is your child tormented by perfectionism? If so, this video is for you. 8-year-old Maya is drawing a picture of her cat sitting locked in concentration at the table. Her mom is sitting nearby, and honestly, she's bracing herself because she knows what's coming. Maya's marker slips, one tiny line goes outside of where she wanted it. Maya freezes, her face crumbles, and she rips the entire thing into pieces. If you've watched your child destroy something they worked hard on over one small imperfection, if you've seen them get 19 out of 20 right and only focus on the one they messed up, please know they're not being dramatic. You say it's okay to make mistakes, and somehow you feel like that makes it worse. In this video, I want to show you what's actually going on underneath that perfectionism for autistic kids, why saying mistakes are okay doesn't calm their nervous system, and what you can do instead to help them tolerate it when things go wrong. I'm Andrea Pollack, parenting educator and coach for parents of autistic and neurodivergent kids and teens. And here's the core reframe I want you to walk away with today. What looks like I have to be perfect is often I don't know how to handle the feeling of being wrong. This isn't about caring too much about grades or stars on a chart. It's about not yet having the skills to tolerate uncertainty, imperfection, and that awful I messed up feeling. Just like with rigidity, we're not talking about a child who won't behave differently. We're talking about a child who can't yet. Of course you tell them. Everyone makes mistakes. That's what we're taught the good parents say, right? Some of us literally grew up with Big Bird singing about it on Sesame Street.
People, everyone makes mistakes, so why can't you? You make a mistake, kids, don't worry.
Drop the word Big Bird in the comments if you now have that song stuck in your head, and I'm so sorry. And listen, that's beautiful messaging. Cognitively, logically, it's absolutely true. But here's the thing. Their body and brain are not asking, are mistakes logically okay? They're asking, can I survive this awful feeling in my chest and stomach when something is wrong? When Maya ripped up her drawing, she wasn't thinking, statistically, errors are a part of the learning process. She was drowning in a feeling that screamed, danger. If your internal alarm system treats wrong like danger, then reassurance is like telling you, standing in a fire alarm, it's fine, don't worry. It doesn't change the volume of the alarm. So what is actually happening inside your child's brain when they lose it over one tiny mistake? First is black and white thinking. For many autistic kids, it's either 100% right, it's perfect, or it's garbage. There is no pretty good, not even an almost perfect. Second, their sense of self is tied to performance. If I'm not perfect, I'm a failure. If I make one mistake, I am a mistake. Third, predictability and control. Being right feels safe. Being wrong feels like chaos. So when you see every time she makes a mistake, it gets ugly quickly, that's not drama, that's nervous system going into emergency mode over a wrong answer. Here's the shift I want to invite you into. Our job isn't to talk them out of caring. It's to help them build the skills to tolerate what happens inside of them when something goes wrong. Instead of thinking, how do I get them to stop overreacting? Think, what skills are missing that would make this mistake survivable? The skills we're talking about are things like emotional skills, noticing and naming what they're feeling, cognitive flexibility, understanding that more than one outcome can be good enough, coping skills, what to do with big feelings when they show up. That may sound like a lot to you, but stay with me because it's not as hard to teach your kids these skills once you understand what's driving their behavior. In a minute, we're going to talk about steps you can take right now, so stay with me. First, I want to share this. Sometimes parents tell me, Andrea, I've tried validating, I've tried staying calm, I've tried all the things, and we still end up in the same explosion over one tiny mistake. If that's you, here's the truth. Every situation is unique. The strategies I'm sharing in this video are solid foundations. That's where coaching comes in. As a parent who's been in the trenches and someone who's been doing this work professionally for years, I help parents find solutions sooner with way less trial and error. We map out step by step what to say and do in your homework battles, your art project meltdowns, whatever it is, and we adjust and tweak as you see what's working. If that sounds like the kind of support you've been wishing for, there's a link in the description box where you can learn more and see if it's a good fit for you. Now let's get into the concrete tools that you can start using today. Step 1, prep while they're calm. Start outside of homework time. You might say, sometimes your brain tells you if it's not perfect, it's a disaster. Have you noticed that? It's really hard when your brain does that. You're helping them become more aware of their own internal thought processes. Second, validate the experience, not the logic. Then instead of saying, it's fine, you only got one question wrong, try, your brain really hates it when something is wrong. It feels huge right now. You're not agreeing that it's a disaster. You're acknowledging what's true for them in that moment. Step 3, build tolerance with tiny, safe, wrong experiences. Remember Maya and her drawing? What if before the next art session, you sat down together and intentionally drew a wobbly line picture together? You narrate what you're noticing. My brain really wants this to be perfect too. I'm going to take a breath and see if I can let this be good enough for today. Now again, every situation is different. Your child or Maya might not be ready to tolerate exactly that yet, but there is a tiny next step that is the right step to help them build that tolerance. Step 4, adjust expectations to match their current skills. Maybe today the goal isn't finish the worksheet perfectly. Maybe the goal is, let's notice the first mistake together and practice not ripping the paper in half. That's real hard work, and that's enough. Here are some common parent traps. Sometimes you say things like, but you got 99% right. Alternatively, you could try actually focusing in on the one that's wrong. You can say, that is so intense for you. Let's sit with that feeling for a second together. I know the prospect of doing that is terrifying, but it is how we build skills, and it's not usually as scary in the end as we thought it was going to be. Another trap, if you're going to act like this, I'm not going to help you with your homework. An alternative would be, your reaction is telling me that this is too much for your brain right now. Let's take a break and come back and do a smaller chunk. If your autistic child melts down over one small mistake, it's not because they're ungrateful or dramatic. It's because they don't yet have the skills to feel safe when something is wrong. You can't make them love mistakes, but you can absolutely help them realize, I can survive this. Tell me in the comments, what's one situation where a tiny mistake blows up at your house? I'd love to hear what you're dealing with.